Hiya then folks, welcome to Boating on a Budget with me, the tight Yorkshireman, here on our project narrowboat, Lyanda Lady. Don't know if I seem a bit funny talking to this here camera, because it's been a while since I've done that. As I'm sure you're aware, we had a little break during January, let us work off all that extra turkey and them extra few beers we'd had around Christmas. But we're now back, ready and raring to go, and we've got a great 2022 lined up. Much as we'd like to have just spent the entire January sat about doing nothing, unfortunately that were never going to happen, was it? Dawn spent most of it at work, and I've been having a look at this little project that we've started. This will be our patio area. We've had a few nice days during January, so I've been able to get out and about onto the garden area and clear off the bushes and shrubs that had started to grow on here, and then start to dig out, so we're going to have a really nice space that we can sit right next to the boat on those beautiful summer days. Yeah, them sort of 3 nice days we always get as a summer here in England. But for now, we're going to put this project back on hold because we really need to concentrate on the boat itself. The first jobs we've got to look at are mainly electrical items. As you'll see behind me, the canal is currently closed. British Rail, or whatever they're called these days, are doing some work on that bridge. And by chance, Canal and River Trust are also fitting a new guillotine lock just down that way in Rotherham. So at the minute we're currently trapped, we can't go anywhere. So at the end of December, beginning of January, we thought we'd have one last run out before we were stuck here. So we got everything ready, pressed the button to start the boat, and absolutely nothing happened. The engine wouldn't even turn over. So after a bit of fiddling about and a few diagnostics, I discovered the starter motor wasn't working. And it turned out when I took it into the auto electrician that they reckon it had been overheating, which is probably something to do with the cabling not being right or a bad earth point, they reckon. So I've got a new starter motor, which cost an arm and a leg. I don't even tell you how much that was. So I need to get that fitted. Fingers crossed then the boat will all be working. And while I'm doing, I've also got a switch panel that's going to do things like the headlight and the horn, stuff like that, and it's also got USB charging points, so we're going to fit that on the back of the boat. I think then it's time for me brew, and we better get these boards up and get cracking with that. The starter motor itself locates down here, and it will be a bit tricky to film down there, but to be honest that's all rather straightforward. The starter motor just slides into position and there's 3 bolts that nip up and hold that in place. The issue we seem to have, or potentially have, is with things like the earthing point, which this is the earthing cable that comes from the starter motor, and it goes under this battery tray where we've got the main leisure battery and the starter battery at the back there. It then seems to be clamped somewhere down underneath this tray, and then it also comes back up and feeds to the negative point on the starter battery. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wiring off this battery, move that out of the way, although that does weigh an absolute ton and that'll be a struggle. I'll then also do the same and move the current starter battery, which we have actually got a new one to replace that, but I'll move all those out of the way and hopefully we can get under this tray so we can have a look and check this earthing point, make sure it's a good clean contact. 10 minutes later then, I've managed to get the leisure battery up here out of the way, and the battery that was the starter battery is out the way. These are all the leads that come from the solar panels and everything and then go back into the boat. For now I've disconnected the solar panels as well, so we're 100% certain there's no power going through those. But we can see there's potentially a big issue here. This is the lead that goes from the negative point on the battery to the starter motor, and it's been connected via some kind of old toggle on-off switch, which now all the terminals are corroded, and I've not even realised it was a switch because it's broken on the other side, the side we can see. So I think it's going to be a case of give all this area a good clean up, and then we'll look at how we're going to move forward, reconnecting everything down here. Got the loose rust off then and clean the water out. It's as dry as it's going to get for now, but being February, it's not warm enough to be able to put rust treatment and then bilge paint on. So I think that's going to be a job I'm going to have to revisit in a couple of months' time when the temperatures have warmed up and get this entire engine bay all cleaned down. The plate's back in place now, so we can get these batteries located back where they were, and I've got the straps on ready to hold them in place. Well, that's everything connected and double checked and then triple checked just to be sure. And in my right hand down here I've got the starter button. Fingers crossed then she fires up and runs like a Swiss watch. She fired up, but she's not running like a Swiss watch. Bit of investigation, I think, before we carry on with that. So after a little bit of persuasion, she started up and ran fine. I thought I'd actually got the camera running while I was tinkering, but it seems I hadn't. But basically all I did is I checked all the connections, made sure the fuel and everything was all turned on, and then just kept blipping the starter button with a few revs on. She fired up and ran like a dream. Well as she can at the minute. She does need a service. She's running all right, but she does need a service. I've got all the oils to do the engine, the gearbox and everything like that. That's a job for another day though. Because now I need to get all this leisure battery back in and all wired back up, and the wires nice and tidy in that corner over there. Leisure battery's in place, all strapped down nice and secure, and all the wires are reattached, so everything's working in the boat again. As I said earlier, I was hoping to get the switch panel fitted for out here that would run things like the lights and the horn and things. But as with most of these jobs, it took sort of 2 or 3 times longer than I actually anticipated. And I'm not going to have a chance to do it today now, because although the sun's shining, dazzling me a bit, which is a miracle in itself for February, I'm only actually about an hour away from it getting dark. So there's no point getting all the tools out and everything that I'm going to need to start cutting into here. That's going to have to be a job for another day. The main thing is though, I got that starter motor fitted and the engine's fired up and it's all working again. So that's the big tick for today. So it has been a fairly short episode, and unfortunately, due to the constraints of filming down here, I've not been able to show a great deal of detail in this one. But don't worry, 2022 is going to be a good year. There's going to be lots more videos to come and lots more stuff that we're going to be doing on and around this boat. So hopefully you've enjoyed watching this one, and you never know, on the next one, Dawn might even be back with me. So see you all later folks. Bye bye.